What's up, world? Let me tell you about this beard growth oil I got from 12 tribes on Earth. 8 ounces of oily goodness with a nozzle that prevents sprays and spills, and soft ingredients that make it perfect addition to anyone's morning routine. From coconut to castor, all these oils are hand chosen. After using this herbal blend, the biggest thing I noticed is how soft and how strong my hair was, and how good I feel. Pick up your bottle today and make your beard the star of the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, Florida is just like a lot of places in the country right now. The protests are intensifying, and this Brevard County sheriff down there in Florida is threatening to unalive people if they are out there protesting and they throw a brick or they set something on fire. So they'll be met with force. And, Donald Trump is talking in the same manner, but, he wasn't talking about graveyards, but he was talking about people being met with force. And the bottom line is, y'all, they want people out of these streets. They don't want to see any more protests in this country, and they want it to stop. So I'm not surprised they're now taking this to a much more physical fight than it was before. Before, they were using the rubber bullets and the tear gas, especially in LA. So now they are threatening deadly force, at least in Florida, they are. And Donald Trump claimed they're going to be met with force because, he's having that military parade that I don't know why anybody would want to go. In fact, I was reading most of the GOP senators are not even showing up. So much for the importance of this military parade. So, y'all, let's get into this story. You know, look, we are staying out of the streets, and this is all the more reason to stay home. There is no place for us out in these protests. And we need to continue to worry about ourselves first. And all of these other people, they're adults and they can fend for themselves. Let's get into it. Florida sheriff issues stark warning to rioters. We'll kill you graveyard dead. In a bold and chilling message, a Florida sheriff has warned potential rioters that law enforcement will respond with deadly force. The sheriff emphasized that those who engage in violent acts during protests should expect to face lethal consequences. During an event labeled by local authorities as part of Florida's anti-riot state initiative, Sheriff Wayne Ivey delivered a blunt message. If you throw a brick, we will kill you graveyard dead. He stressed that any violent actions, such as throwing projectiles, arson, or brandishing weapons, would not be tolerated. The sheriff's strong posture underscores Florida's commitment to quashing unrest as protests intensify. Attorney General James Uthmeier echoed the sheriff's stance, asserting that violent demonstrators would face the full force of state laws designed to deter unrest. Although the warnings come amid broader national tensions surrounding protest activity, Florida officials have framed the measures as proactive steps to ensure public safety and maintain order. Critics argue the sheriff's language resembles rhetoric used in the 1960s, such as, when the looting starts, the shooting starts, which historically justified harsh crackdowns on minority communities. As Florida positions itself as an anti riot leader, its law enforcement agencies are making clear their intent to pursue aggressive tactics against anyone who resorts to violence or risks public safety during demonstrations. White man fatigue a thing? I'm just asking for a friend. Y'all, look, this dude sound like something out of the Jim Crow South. Seriously. So he said if you throw a brick, firebomb, or point a gun, then you're asking for them to wipe you out. And that's what they intend on doing. So, people have been reaching out to this sheriff department in Brevard County for comment, but they have not responded. So it's like anything else. ICE is raiding down there and the people are protesting. And, in some places, it's really not as bad as others. Most places are not quite as extreme as Los Angeles. I mean, you do see some scuffles in other locations. That's no doubt about that. But right now, probably the most volatile is Los Angeles. So I guess, he's shooting some warning shots to let people know, don't take this to the next level if you are out there demonstrating. So the raids are ongoing across cities, across the country. And that's all they're asking is to keep the protests peaceful out here. And they don't want people destroying cars like they have in Los Angeles. But, most of the cars that you saw set on fire, those are the driverless cars in Los Angeles. Those are the ones that were attacked and set on fire. So, I guess they're trying to instill fear in the people that step onto the street and let you know if you do anything, you may not be coming out of it alive. And, it don't take much for a cop to unalive you in America. Actually, it's very little to none. And in our community, all you gotta do is walk down the street unarmed and they'll come at you, and it's happened so many times, it's not even funny. So, they don't need a good reason to shoot you. So, I'm not surprised if he says you're just you could be just standing there with a brick in your hand and he think it's okay to unalive you. So, y'all down in Florida, be careful, and again, my people, stay out of the streets. This is no place for us. This is the fight of the immigrants and the US government. It is not the fight of anyone in our community, and you really need to stand down and focus on yourself, your family, and your community, and that's it. All these other things, they can handle that. So Saturday is going to be a pretty big event. Donald Trump is putting on a military style parade because it's Flag Day, and also it's Donald Trump's birthday, which they have been letting us know this all week long, like it's of any importance to someone, because it's not. Well, just in case it is important to you, it's his birthday. Donald Trump is turning 79 years old. Way too old to be a sitting president. I don't think nobody should be that old and president, but that's me. There is a No Kings group that's coming to Washington to counteract Donald Trump's military style parade. He's already given the same warnings that people that come there and protest during his military parade will be met with force. This is what he's saying. So ladies and gentlemen, they are expecting protest in 30 states this coming Saturday. And there are over 100 different organizations that are involved in putting these protests together in the country. So, look, stay home anyway. If you're part of my group, you'll be doing Sabbath on Saturday anyway. So this stuff is secondary to us. If there's anything I will do regarding this, not unless something earth-shattering happens, then I will be focusing on doing most of the protest coverage after everything on Saturday. So, y'all, please tell me what you think about what this sheriff down in Florida is saying. Sitting there sounding like a Jim Crow 1950 sheriff down there in the South. Mm, what can I say? Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.